Hey Dreamers, this is Jade, and I'm finally getting to the video I've been wanting to do for quite a while now, and that is just to kind of go through the history of my journaling and how it's evolved into what it is now. Now, the very first journal or diary I ever remember having was a small brown locking diary. It had gold gilded pages, and I got it when I was 5 years old because that's what I asked for on my birthday. Had other small ones after that, but this is the earliest one that I have, that I still have in my possession. Now I actually tried to find a picture of that brown journal that I'm talking about to show you guys, but I couldn't. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk about this one. This Bart Simpson diary I actually got at a Scholastic book fair. You guys remember those, right? And so, yeah, I picked this up because I loved The Simpsons at the time. Lisa was my favorite. I actually ended up playing the saxophone because of Lisa for 1 year. And so, yeah, I got this. At the time, it was a locking diary. As you can see, the lock is gone and the plastic where it did lock has ripped. I liked it because it had the pink, yellow, and blue pages here. And back then, I was not finishing diaries or whatever. Actually, my last entry was, and this one was on December 19th, 1995. This is what's up, dear diary, what's up? Well, I got some stuff to tell you. For starters, blank is on punishment once again for the rest of the year because blank was at the center when blank wasn't supposed to be. Ooh, I'm dropping tea. Blank has broke up with blank again. Good for her. Because don't nobody need that BS. Ha, this is hilarious. Anyway, that is pretty much it. This one, like I said, 95. I want to say, but I had it since 91. So it was very sporadic when I wrote in this thing. And so, let's see. I don't even know what ages I was. I was probably somewhere between like 3rd to 6th grade writing in this. I feel like 5th grade is probably the most. I don't know. Anyway, it's been quite a while. Let's just say that. Okay, so after transitioning into high school, actually during orientation, they suggested every student get one of these little spiral notebooks to like write down assignments and things like that. So I would say that this actually became my very first catch-all, brain dump-ish type of journal. I never really used it to write down assignments. It has some of everything here, notes, playlists, all kinds of stuff. So like as you can see here, I have a vocabulary list for some book I had to read at the time. And then if you go back here, I have a playlist of songs I was listening to at the time that I liked. Killing Me Softly, Be Careful, Escape, They Don't Know. That was my jam. Okay. And so, yeah. And then me and my friends would write notes back and forth to each other in here during class. Stuff like that. And I realized, guys, that I was actually doing the stuff that I do now in these little notebooks, the doodles and the lettering and all of that kind of stuff. Let's see. So like here, I used to do those all the time. And then here, I was planning out a website. I had made this, my very first website that I made. I loved Marlon Wayans at the time. So I made a fan page of Marlon Wayans. And I swear that thing is still up. It was on tripod. And it was the very first one. I promise you. Mine was the first fan page he ever had. And people used to steal pictures that I would put up on there and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, memories. So yeah, that's pretty much what was going on in this. This is like my first ever brain dump journal. And I realized even in the back, I was already like doing swatching. I had these, what do you call them? I had these markers that, you know, the markers they used to have, the sniff ones that smelled like the color they were. So like the red one was cherry and then there was another one that was raspberry. So I swatched them all out and of course wrote what they were back here. So that was pretty much my first brain dump catch-all journal type of thing. And so these also in high school I bought at the Dollar Tree. I picked up the purple one first, and I liked it so much I went back and got more. They had different colors. I bought a whole bunch of them. Some of them I still have that don't have anything in them at all, and they kind of became like brain dump journals too. But I would write stories in them. I would plan out websites in them, all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of personal information in these, so I'm not really gonna flip through them or anything like that. So yeah, but these were like more kind of brain dump, brainstorming. I would write poetry, all that kind of stuff, just in these little notebooks. And I have, like I said, several more of these. And then while I got this in high school, I finished it actually not maybe a year or two ago. I started out in high school. I would get so bored in some of my classes. I had this one teacher. I'm not going to say her name, but she taught physics. She was a very strange woman, kind of a weirdo, which that's fine. If you're a weirdo, that's fine. Look, I'm here for my weirdos, okay? I feel like I'm a weirdo sometimes. And this woman, she taught physics. She knew her stuff, guys. Like, she knew her stuff. She just was unable to teach it to everybody else. Like, she sucked at teaching it to other people, but she knew the information. So I would get so bored and disinterested in her class that I would just start daydreaming. I would just go to a whole nother place. And my mom gave me this journal way back in high school, and so I would just write my daydreams out in this, or either I would write it on some scratch paper and go back and transfer it into this. I'd never finished this. You know, I only got in a few pages in or whatever. And then once I really got into doing the Daydream Journal again later, like just a few years ago, I actually got this back out, and I was like, I'm not going to leave it unfinished, and just went ahead and finished it. So this is like this is my first official Daydream Journal. So yeah, love this. And if you guys don't know, this is the tapestry. And I find it interesting that this is this old, but this is the tapestry in the Gryffindor common room, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, so that is like kind of elementary through middle and high school for me with these. And then when I got to college, I could not really, I was never really super consistent with journaling, I feel like. And I really couldn't dedicate the time to it like that anyway once I got to college. So I came up with this. I ended up, this was my first one, I believe. They gave you planners when we first got to school here. And this is what I would do. I'm trying to find a good spot. Like, I would just write a brief summation of my day in the days here. So that's how I would do it. I mean, that's how I kept up. That's basically how I journaled in college and how I kept up with what was going on. Sometimes I would write things down in code and I could go back and not be able to decipher what the hell I was talking about. So yeah, this was my first one. And then I started buying these from Barnes & Noble. They would have them on clearance for half price around like December and January, and I would get one then, and so I'd be set for the next school year. But same thing, and I threw away a lot of them. So, but yeah, see, just would write a quick brief summation of what I was doing during the day to kind of keep up with what was going on. And that's pretty much how I journaled in college, because I didn't have really, I probably could have made the time to dedicate to, you know, journaling, but there was just so much going on that I didn't. And I did, however, make more time during like spring break and summer and all that kind of stuff. So my journal entries got longer and for real during the summer, and I would keep them in here. And as you can see, I never finished this one either. So this is a journal with all of these unfinished pages. But that was basically my college experience here. That's how I journaled. Like I said, I had several more of these, of course, for each year. And I actually ended up going through and throwing a lot of them away. I just kind of kept one for nostalgia purposes. And even in high school, I had, again, like I said, I was doing this stuff before I realized, before it really became even a thing online. Even in high school, I had a planner like this. That was my high school planner. And I would stick stickers in there and draw and doodle and all of that kind of stuff. So like I was already doing this stuff. So it makes sense that I would really get into it now. This is kind of like another brain dumpish, random everything kind of journal here in college. And then when I went back later, I had gotten into, what do you call it? Church heavily, or religion, I should say. It was a very unhealthy time for me. Let's just say that. It was very unhealthy how I got into it. But with that said, I still would, at the time, I was writing letters to God. And so I had so many of these Betty Boop notebooks, and I would just fill them up very quickly with letters to God. I am actually really considering burning all of these, because I look back on them and I know I'm not that person anymore, and they're very whiny and like, oh, woe is me, and it kind of makes me sick reading some of this stuff. I'm like, really, Jade, what was going on, dear? Like, what was going on? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and there's way more than this. I just kind of brought these out as an example. And yeah, I was obsessed with these Betty Boop books, so that's what I used to fill them up. So that is pretty much what was going on college-y years. And then let's see. These were also God Eater books, whatever. And then I started using these, because I bought a lot of these, and then they also started coming in like different designs like this, so I would pick them up too. These kind of became brain dump journals as well. At the time, I was using this. I had a website, a book blog website, so I would write down my reviews and things of that nature. And this, so yeah, I would plan out my website if I needed to change something, all that kind of stuff. Like, see here, I have notes on Lover Revealed by J.R. Ward. Look, if you have not read the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, please do. Please do. That is all the vampires you need right there. So yeah. And I would just write my reviews out down here before I would type them into my blog and all of that kind of stuff. So keeping up with that, here, this was also kind of around the same time. This was later, but this was kind of around the same time as this, a little bit later, but around the same time. In this, I started, it was like it kind of became everything. It was like a journal, and then I was keeping my dreams in this, and then eventually, again, it was unfinished after I had journaled a little bit and put down, kept a couple of my dreams in it or whatever. It was unfinished. So when I was doing my daydream journaling, I transitioned from that one you guys saw that I just showed you, and started writing in this one and finished that one up. Actually, no, I think I'm lying. I think I started daydreaming in this one, and then went back and got the other one and finished that one. And then I transitioned into this one. This was another notebook I had received in high school. However, I never wrote in it. And after I finished, so yeah, it went this one, and then where did the other one go? Really? Oh, here it is. It went this one, and then I was like, let's go back and finish this one. So I carried over a daydream from this one into this one, and then into this one, and filled all of these up. So yeah. Okay, so around the same time that I was really getting back into daydream journaling, I discovered creative journaling or Fobonichi journaling online. The very first video that I saw was Nurse Tara, and this was the one that inspired me to try it for myself. I will link the video below if I remember. But yeah, so I did what the Fobonichi crowd was doing, and I bought the Miguel Ruiz books from Barnes and Noble, because at the time, you know, a lot of people didn't want to pay for the Hobonichi and having it shipped. It was kind of expensive, especially for to ship to America. But anyway, so I did that. This was the first pages of my first one, and as you can see, I let my nephew play in my journal as well. His cute little illustrations. And so yeah, but this is how I started out. Very, very basic. That I'm reading, doing a little drawing, all of that kind of stuff. And then I started watching, I wasn't satisfied with this, and I started watching Elizabeth at Never Hopeless, and she was a great inspiration. So this was my second one. And as you can see, I was kind of doing this. There was somebody else I was watching that used to do these all the time, and I freaking loved them. I thought it was so pretty, these. And so, yeah. Ooh, I remember that book. It was so good. But this was my second one. And then I decided that I wanted to gut this and kind of make my own cover. And I saw somebody use this paper online, and I was like, I want it too. She had said she got it from the paper source, so that's where I went and got it. And so basically I just made a hard cover of this because I like these, but I wasn't really fond of the soft cover. So I just took the pages out of it and made my own hardcover. And this was another kind of creative journal, and this is when I really got inspired by Elizabeth, because at the time before, I was kind of feeling like I had to draw everything and I was just like, I don't want to do that. Like, I like to draw sometimes, and I'm okay at it, you know, but I'm not like I wouldn't consider myself a professional drawer or anything like that. And Elizabeth used to print out pictures to kind of, you know, go for what she was doing. I was like, that makes more sense. So that's what I started doing. And I would just kind of do a title and just, you know, print out my stuff. And that's pretty much how it went. And, you know, I've used these for a few years. Really, really enjoyed doing this for quite a while. And then, so if you hear, and then this one, I made this one as well, or, you know, I took the same book and just covered it and kind of made it my own. But yeah, as you can see, I kind of kept to the same style here. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed doing this. But I got to the point where it was too much, and then trying to do it every day, I was like, I can't do it, you know. And I had to, it was becoming a chore, and I didn't want to do this anymore. So I made some changes, and I began doing my creative journaling in these little A6 notebooks. And that has been the difference for me. This was my very first one when I transitioned into A6. I decided I was going to do smaller pages. Excuse me. And I really enjoy the smaller versions way better than doing the big Fobonichis that I had there. The bigger ones. And also, I told myself, this is not something you have to do every day. You do it when you feel like doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was making up all these rules myself. And I'm like, that is ridiculous. And it's making you hate this. It's making you kind of not like something you love. So just do this and do it when you feel like it. And that's when this was born. So kind of the same thing a little bit. And I don't know. I really, really liked this so much better. This just felt better for me. So I have been rocking with the A6 ever since. Ooh, I actually just finished mine in season 3. It's so good. Yeah, I've been doing A6 ever since. So this was my first one. This was a pentalic, I think, grid I got from Amazon. I actually found some gray ones of these in Walmart recently, so check there if you're looking for them. And then I moved on. I wanted to try different papers, so I tried the Midori. At first I was like, I don't know if I like this, but actually by the end of it, I really ended up enjoying this Midori. Really loved it. I thought it was just so, I love the paper. Yeah, so after this Midori, I transitioned to the Stalogy. I wanted to try that paper because people raved about that. So same thing, just getting my journal on type of thing here. So yeah, I really like the Stalogy too. It was just too much paper for me. I feel like I would have been happier in this if I had gotten the 6 month. Every time I try to find the 6 month now, they never have it in the color I want. So yeah, but I did transition to the Stalogy, and then I finally was like, okay, you really need to try the Tomoe River paper. Everybody's been raving about. I had been wanting to try it forever. So I did get a journal from Nanami Cafe. I think Nanami Cafe, listen to me. It was the cafe note that I bought. At the time, they did not have any A6 left, so I bought a B6 and had it cut down to an A6 size. And when I tell you, at first, it was hard transitioning. I didn't quite know how to use the paper. But once I got the hang of it, when I tell you I am in love with Tomoe River paper, like the way it takes watercolor, it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love it. So yeah, this was the journal that I was in before, the one I'm in now, that you see me working in now, which is an actual Hobonichi notebook. Still Tomoe River paper, but finally transitioned into an actual Hobonichi myself. So yeah, really enjoyed this. And again, though, the Nanami, it was too thick. Entirely too thick. Like, too many pages in it. So I never actually finished this either. So yeah, but really loved it. And at the same time, I started regularly daily journaling. So while I was doing like started the Hobonichis and stuff, I actually started journaling daily regularly so I could keep up with my days. So when I was ready to record something in my creative journal, I could look back and say, okay, this is what happened on this day. And that's why I want to put it in this. And so like I started in these. And of course, you guys know I have been through several of these since, but I just brought these out as kind of examples. So yeah. And then at the same time, I also, once I started really journaling in my Hobonichi and these little creative journaling things, I started really getting serious about keeping up with my daily journaling and also keeping up with my dream journaling. Now, it used to be quite sporadic. I would keep up with my dreams. However, now I am pretty much on it every day. I wake up, I write down my dreams. If I can remember it, I write down my dreams. Usually I remember it. So whereas I started this, let's see. Y'all, I started this back in 2011, okay? I didn't finish it. And this is how off and on I used to be with like my dream journaling and stuff like that. So it didn't get completed until August 2019. And then of course I've transitioned from there, and I've had several dream journals that I filled up since. I actually just finished another one and am in a new one now that I started yesterday. So yeah, that is pretty much it. And of course, you guys know that I have other like little journals that I keep. My kind of like an affirmations journal here. I have a tarot journal that I'm trying to learn tarot in. More brain dump journals. I have kind of like I call this kind of like I guess a manifestation journal type of thing. So I'm kind of keeping up with a lot of stuff now. And I'm much more consistent with everything as well. So that has pretty much been my experience and evolution with journaling. I would love to know if you guys journal regularly and how. If you have any comments or questions about anything, you can definitely leave those below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. I hope everybody is safe and well, and I hope that you liked my little trip down memory lane with my journal. So yeah, that is it. I will catch you all in the next one. Bye.